While the markets are in a massive downswing and everyone is staring at XRP trading below $1.15, Ripple just dropped the single most important document in the history of the XRP Ledger. So we've got to look past the daily charts because the real story is the financial plumbing being built right under our noses.
And let me be perfectly clear. If your entire focus is on that day-to-day price action, you are missing the tectonic shift happening at the deepest level of global finance. You are on track to be completely, catastrophically blindsided when this new infrastructure is finally switched on.
Okay, here's the twist. On the left, you see what everyone else sees, the public story. It's just noise, right? Market fear, political drama, price anxiety. But on the right, that's the institutional script. This is the surprising truth happening behind the curtain, an official DeFi roadmap, live integrations with trillion-dollar markets, and on-ledger lending protocols being rolled out as we speak.
And that's my promise to you in this explainer. I'm going to walk you through that institutional script piece by piece. By the time we're done, you will have the official master plan, and you'll know the exact date that's been pinpointed as the moment the institutional capital starts to flow. So, let's start with the foundation. This isn't some theory, this isn't speculation, this is the actual playbook, published by Ripple. Just look at the title, Scaling Real-World Finance with XRP at the Core. They're not being subtle. This document, released February 5th, 2026, officially details the evolution of the XRP Ledger. It's going from just a payment rail to a full-blown end-to-end operating system for the entire financial industry.
And this shows you exactly how it works. It's a brand new workflow for institutions. First, they get their credentials, like a verified VIP pass, right on the ledger. That pass lets them into a private, compliant marketplace. In there, they can create a regulated stablecoin, RLUSD. But here's the genius part. To settle these huge transactions and manage liquidity, XRP is the required core asset. It's a closed loop that absolutely needs XRP to function.
Of course, a roadmap is just a piece of paper without the actual tech to make it happen. So let's look at the institutional-grade toolkit that's being deployed right now.
We're moving way beyond simple features. This is financial infrastructure. Things like permission domains. Think of them as creating private walled gardens where banks can transact only with other verified players. That's a compliance game changer. And with confidential transfers coming, they get the privacy they absolutely need to move billions without alerting the entire market.
And this timeline shows you just how fast this is happening. The lending protocol XLS-85 is slated for Q1 2026. Confidential transfers are scheduled for later in the year. These aren't just ideas. These are tangible upgrades being deployed to build out this new financial operating system. I'm really curious what you think. We've got on-ledger lending, private transactions, smart escrows. Which one of these protocols do you think is the biggest game changer for the big banks? Head over to our community tab after this and let me know. I really want to see where your heads are at. All right, so we've got the plan, we've got the tech. But who's actually using it? Let's look at the hard evidence that the first movers are already making their play. This right here is a massive signal. Evernorth, a huge player, has already gone public saying they plan to use the new XLS-85 lending protocol. And for what? To generate institutional-grade yield on their multi-billion-dollar stack of XRP. They are not waiting around. They are integrating now. And it gets even bigger. The integration between Ripple Prime and Hyperliquid is now live. This is the on-ramp. We're talking about plugging the XRP Ledger directly into the trillion-dollar derivatives market, letting institutional clients securely trade things like futures contracts right on the blockchain. Look, news like that Hyperliquid deal breaks fast. If you want these critical updates the moment they happen, before the rest of the market catches on, you absolutely need to be in our Telegram group. Scan the QR code on your screen or hit the link down in the description and join us. So all this infrastructure, all these live integrations, it's all building toward one critical activation moment. Let's zero in on that date.
First, let's talk about the noise in the US market. Yes, there's a ton of fear and volatility. All the talk about a new Fed chair, about rates staying higher for longer, it's shaking up traditional portfolios. And you know what? It's exactly this kind of chaos that forces institutions to seriously look for new, more efficient financial rails that operate outside the old broken system.
And for our viewers in the US who are feeling that volatility in their own portfolios, we've got your back. We've linked a guide below on institutional-grade asset protection strategies. It's a really valuable resource, especially right now.
So with all that market chaos as the backdrop, why is everyone behind the scenes focused on February 12th? What makes that specific date the flip the switch moment? Okay, before I give you the answer, I have to be direct. If you are watching this without a subscription to Crypto Global News, you are missing the alerts. The algorithm will hide this content from you next week. Click subscribe right now to stay on the correct timeline.
The answer is XLS-85. February 12th, 2026 is the date the roadmap is targeting to activate the Token Escrow Amendment. Just think of it like a digital vault on the ledger. It lets institutions lock up assets without needing to trust a third party. This is the final technical piece they need to securely deploy billions of dollars. It's the starting gun for institutional capital. So let's zoom all the way out. Let's put all the pieces together and look at the real story, the grand vision that is being executed right now. The XRP Ledger is being methodically built, brick by brick, into the fundamental operating system for real-world finance. From private transfers that let banks move money in secret to smart escrows that will automate the multi-trillion-dollar repo market, every single function is being designed to have XRP right at its very core. And this all boils down to one simple truth. The price action might be uncomfortable right now. It might even be painful. But the utility, the real-world use case being built and adopted by the biggest players on Earth, is becoming absolutely undeniable.
But you have to understand, this roadmap is just one piece of the puzzle. The real catalyst, the upgrade that will allow central banks and sovereign wealth funds to move trillions in the dark, is the Confidential Transfer Amendment. We break down that entire mechanism in our next explainer. To understand how that works, you need to click the card on your screen right now.
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.